Okay, so how are you? Are you alright? You feeling good for tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good for tonight. I started getting a little bit exhausted these last couple of weeks because I've been out for a long time. So yeah, we've been out for 3.5 months, so I'm a little fried.
Yeah, how have the shows been in the UK so
Unbelievable.
far? Really good.
Yeah, like really amazing. And I used to have a really hard time when I came into the UK. I just felt like I didn't know how to properly connect with the audience. So I've always felt really intimidated. And for some reason on this tour, I don't know if it's because of this latest record, but it's just the connection is there. And it's been so wonderful, and I love it. I love playing here now.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you think you'll be coming here more often?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, whether I was intimidated by it or not, we'll play if people want to come see the show. Yeah. We'll play. Yeah.
So you've been in the UK. Have you been visiting any sites as well as just gigs?
If I'm doing promo, I get a chance to kind of a little bit more, but because the schedule, not really.
Not really have much time to do anything?
No.
Oh no. So Better Than Home's your new album. The main focus it's obviously the main focus of the tour. But what I really want to know is, what is Better Than Home meaning to you?
Well, the song Better Than Home has got a lot of levels to it. So on the surface level, for the audience to understand and not have them come up to me and go, oh my God, what the fuck is this song about? On the surface level, I use the metaphor of going on the road as the source of what's better than home. So I'm happier on the road than I am at home. And to a degree, that really is true, especially in these last couple of years, and I don't really know why that is. But for me personally, it goes to a deeper level of childhood. And when I was a little girl, my family was extremely close and loving and really happy. And then overnight, things just became a nightmare. And instead of them becoming a nightmare and then getting better, they became a nightmare and they just kept getting worse. And it was hard for everyone. And when you're young, and you're sensitive, it's kind of traumatic. So I would dream, all the time about having my family again and having it to be beautiful again. And that never quite happened in childhood, but what did happen was I ended up creating my own family. One was being blessed to get married to Scott, who's the most amazing man in the world. But to have the crew that I have and the people that I have that I get to work with and make music with and be with on the road is my family now, and it's amazing. And then funny enough, in creating that new family, or being a part of the creation of that new family, ironically what happened was my own family ended up working out their shit, and now we're connected again.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so it's better than what my dreams were of home as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's two families now, you know, and it's good.
You've got everybody together.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the song, and the album as a whole. What does that whole album mean to you?
Well, it was the most difficult album by far to write. And I think that's for a couple of reasons. One is I've always used songwriting as a means to get through my struggles, my internal struggles, my fears, my pain, whatever. And on this album, what was going on previous was I did a blues soul / cover record with Joe Bonamassa. And singing those songs, and not having to write them, but singing those songs in the style of music was like really freeing for me.
Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time, and here I am at that time in my late 30s. We're doing a fantastic album of fantastic songs, and I was really surprised that I really sunk into it and got it. So it inspired me to go into a different direction as a writer. And usually, all my life, my writing has first and foremost been based on the lyric. I write the music, but I mean, the music comes fast and the lyric is what I hone in on and focus on. But on the work with Joe, I was like, I'm free! I can try and do jazz music and blues music, and the lyric doesn't have to be so fucking heavy or so fucking confessional. It can be more about love. And where I get my challenge is working on new chord progressions and different things that I'd ever done before on piano. So that was really exciting. So I didn't have to think about the heaviness of a lyric. So here I am, finally free, and I'm like, yeah, I'm into this thing. And then my manager and my husband and my fucking label approach me and they say, you gotta get away from this blues thing. What are you doing? There's no future in it for you. That's not who you are. Yeah, you can make some blues music and soul music and have fun, and maybe even some people will really enjoy it. And you guys have done that already with Joe Bonamassa. And then I made a record on my own called Bang Bang Boom Boom. They said, but please get back to the stories. And I was like, fuck you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be so heavy laden with that. I don't want to have to feel that stuff. I just want to have fun and just relax a little bit.
Exactly. You want to do what's good for you, don't you? It makes you feel good.
But being that I'm mentally ill, I have the upside into being able to question my gut. And you know how there's that, forever you hear this saying, whatever you do in life, follow your gut instinct, follow your gut instinct. And I think that that's generally true unless you have mental illness or some sense of trauma. Yeah. Because your gut instinct will take you to places that will make you hide.
Yes.
So if you follow that, you'll go and you'll hide. So here I'm going, I don't want to fucking go back and really write heavy songs or confessionals. I don't want to look at myself. I just want to keep doing this jazzing, this bluesing, this fun. And then I said, you know what, but these people you have around you probably know better than you. You are mentally ill and you're probably getting in your own way. So I forced myself to start going back and looking at life and my perspective on life and family and friends and childhood and early adulthood and looked at things about death and God and where are we going and does it matter, and just started going back to that place, and it was freaking me out, and it was really hard.
Yeah.
So being the stubborn bitch that I am, I kept turning in material to the producers that was like, check out this jazz song, or check out this blues song, let's do this on the record. And they're like, no, fucking, you know what we're expecting of you. We know you can do this. Come on. And what was interesting at the end of the day of hell of doing this was that there really were a bulk of songs that came that weren't just from struggle, but they were from a place of struggle with great hope. And I don't think that I could say from any albums in my past that I've had that.
Yeah.
Usually it's just been straight up struggle, or it's been humor, or it's been a celebration of love or life. Whereas this album has got the struggle, but for the first time, a huge amount of hope. And because of that, I think that's a fantastically new direction for me to possibly continue in and be challenged by. And who knows, maybe it will really help the parts of me that feel damaged, that no amount of medicine or therapy will ever heal, but maybe through the music it can heal.
Yeah.
And so not only do I think it's a hopeful album, but I think I've got a possibility of healing going in this direction, even though it's fucking hard and it hurts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's great. I know. I've noticed when you listen to this album, like you say, in comparison to your previous ones, you can tell that there is a little bit more uplifting lyrics in there, and there is a little bit more, more music that you can really feel like you can maybe dance to, or you don't have to just sit there and think, oh, this is about her life. And I understand what you mean in the direction that you're going, and it really is an awesome album.
Thank you.
I really, really do enjoy it. We've had it on here down to Rock City, and I've been listening to it for my dad absolutely adores you.
Does he?
Yeah. He's honestly, don't worry, he's like, he thinks you're the best.
Aww.
You're the best thing since.
Is he coming down to the show tonight?
He can't make it, no, but he has been looking into getting tickets for your other shows.
Okay.
So don't worry, I'm sure he'll be here at some point.
Nice.
He did say to mention how much he adores you.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to say to you, how do you hope this album will inspire others that haven't already had the pleasure of hearing it? How do you think it'll inspire the other people?
Well, I never know how anything might affect another, of course, but I also know that I'm not an alien, and I'm not, my feelings about life and how I'm affected by things, it's not like I'm standing alone. So I kind of generally feel if I'm writing something or recording something that is moving me, I assume, because I'm not an alien, that it's going to do similar things like that for some others.
Yeah.
So I think that's always the hope. I can't speak for others, but I would assume that every artist, no matter what type of medium they're using, whether it be from painting to acting to dancing to songwriting to anything like that, I think that I think that the desire is to get to the truth. And I think it's really hard to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And I think it's only natural that when you grow up, you learn to build layers and walls to protect yourself from your own mind, you know, and your own feelings. And that's fine, but it may end up protecting you from being hurt by the world. But what ends up happening also is it also keeps you from being loved and connected. So I think it's like kind of working backwards as an artist. You're trying to peel back those layers and get to the truth so that way you can bring about an ability to really feel again and connect again.
Yeah. And
hopefully through that connection, you know, the fear of death isn't so fucking, oh my God. It's like, no, we're alive now and we survive together, you know, kind of thing.
I understand, yeah. So you've toured this album on various dates in the UK already. Which song are you finding your favourite to play at the minute off the new album?
Oh God, I don't know, you know. I really love them all so much. I mean, one of my favorites is As Long As I Have a Song, and it's my first time taking a crack at the experience of songwriting and what it means to me. So I love that song.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What about previous songs that you've written? I know you've got so many, you can't have them all on one
fucking
tour.
Sucks, man.
I know.
You know what that I do though is every fucking show is a new show.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new set list. And some songs will stay consistent. Like what I try and do is I take a couple of songs from each album I've made, and that will be stuff that I know that audiences want to hear, and I'll have that be. But then at the next show, I'll switch them up and go to a couple of other different songs from different records. And some things might stay consistent depending on what country I'm in. Like in this country, I try and play the songs that I got airplay on. But obviously that I didn't get airplay on in Holland, so I'll play different things maybe that I did get there. Or if I'm in a country that I got no airplay, I'll do my investigation and figure out through the internet what people want to hear from that area. Yeah. Because after all, as much as we want to play and enjoy our set, there's nothing more enjoyable than playing a set that you know your audience is going to be happy with. Yeah. And I think that's important. Yeah.
Because we've been checking, you know, your set list lately, because you post things on your Twitter and your Facebook.
But I don't always follow my set list, by the way.
Alright. Well, we were just looking because we really, really love Leave the Light On, and we've noticed that that's not really cropped up that much.
I know. I've only played it twice.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we love that song. That's my dad's favourite.
All right. Then you know what I'm going to fucking do is I'm just going to open up the show with Light On tonight.
Oh, wow. That would be amazing.
Yeah, fuck it. That's what I'll do.
That would be amazing.
Oh man, see what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to fucking give people what they want to hear, but it's, you know, I'm getting older and there's more records and it's just like, holy shit, what do we do, you know?
Exactly. That's not to rule out your other songs, obviously, but everybody does have their favourites, and that would be ours, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be great. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Okay, good. We'll open the show with that.
Are you excited? You've not played that one in a while?
I've only played it, I think I've only played it 3 times on the whole tour, and that's fucking 3.5 months of being out. So, yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'm gonna kick it up again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So do you find any cool stories, or have you got any cool like memories already from this tour? Anything that you're just gonna want to tell us?
I mean, something that you might think is really redundant, but for me, when I first started out on the tour, I have a brand new drummer.
Right.
And I'm really anal about things being played a certain way. Not just knowing the song, but feeling the song, which is 2 totally different things. So he was making me fucking crazy because he didn't know the material, and I had him learn over 50 songs. So here we are on stage, and instead of me relaxing and letting the songs and the band tell the story, which is really my job as a singer, not just showboat, oversing, and do that fucking bullshit, but let the band and the songs speak for themselves, I was overcompensating by oversinging. So about a month went by and I started losing my voice. And I was like, holy fuck. My ego was getting in my own way and it was ruining my health. So then it was like I was forced to back way off vocally. But when I did that, my set list changed. And I took all the blues and the rocking shit we were doing, and I brought it way, way down. And then all of my singer-songwriter shit I brought up in the set. And the funny thing was, I was thinking at the beginning of the tour, if I fucking rock and I hit it hard and I scream, that the audience is going to love that. But when my body and voice could no longer do that, and I had to shift it, that's when the audience started giving us love.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny, man?
Yeah.
It's like my thinking was totally off. So doing something I had to do to survive on the road, ended up being the thing I needed to do to make them happier.
Oh.
Isn't that sweet?
I suppose in a way that's kind of a good thing then, that you've been able to turn it into something positive when originally you thought it was something that didn't work out.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be doing these softer songs and they're going to fucking hate it. And oh my God, but I got to do it to get through the tour. And then it was the,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's great. As a performer, touring and being on the road is part of the package. How do you tend to juggle your music life with your home life? How do you find you time, Well,
I really don't have home time because I'm not there long enough. But what I do is when I need to start writing for an upcoming record, I will force my manager to give me at least 2.5 months off, maybe 3 months off.
Yeah.
And then what happens for me is when I get home, the first 3 to 5 days, I'm happy. I see my dogs. I get to cook for my husband. And I take care of some stuff, like go to the dermatologist and go to a couple of my doctor's appointments and get my laundry cleaned. But then I go into a deep depression. And the bummer about having the deep depression is obvious. You're in a fucking depression. Yeah. But the upside is I become a writing maniac. So then I spend all my time writing. And then when it's time and they're saying, okay, we're gearing up for a show, then I have to force myself to get back and work out and start physically training for the next thing. And then I pop out of the depression and then it's time to go. Yeah. But my life really is on the road. But it works well because, like I said, my whole crew is my family.
Yeah.
And then I'm with the love of my life, my husband.
Exactly.
Who's road manager.
And then you're keeping busy and you're keeping yourself active all the time.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. Looking back at some of your experiences and opportunities, you've been fortunate enough to play with the big names like Joe Bonamassa, Jeff Beck, Slash. I'm curious, who have you always dreamed of playing with?
Oh God, there's a couple of people, Jesus. I adore Tom Waits. I've always wanted to write with him and do something live with him. He's definitely one of my heroes. I'm a huge fan of Leonard Cohen. I just think he's like the top of the top when it comes to writing and his whole sound and everything that he does. But I'm super, I'm a crazy fan, so it would be very hard for me, if I saw someone I idolize, I would never walk up to them and say hello, ever. I would probably faint.
It is a daunting task.
So it's kind of like, I want to, but then I would faint, so.
Well, you have the talent to do it. You can go up there and approach anybody. Don't worry about it. Do you think in the future you'll take a break from solo albums and create another collaboration album?
Well, I've already made another record, so it's being mixed now, and that's what will be coming out next year. And instead of doing another Joe record, which I was going to do next year, we're going to do one in 2017.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's
something
the
to
plan.
look forward to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really great.
Yeah.
Sometimes do you find yourself being your own worst judge when it comes to your work process?
Yes, absolutely. I tend to be extremely down on myself and rip my head off. So, for instance, on this record, Mechanical Heart, on the 6th day of recording, I snuck away from my husband and the band, and I got so drunk I ended up in the street, passed out, and the ambulance had to come and take me, to the hospital, because I just drunk myself into a terrible place. And it was because I thought I was doing a shitty job. Then, more drama. A couple of months go by, I'm at home, I receive the rough mixes, so the record's not finished.
Yeah.
Right, of this latest record, Better Than Home. And I hated it so much that I cut my arms all up, and I had to go back to the hospital for 3 days. So it's that kind of shit that I do, is that if I don't think I'm rising to the occasion or being honest enough or fucking getting out of my own way, then I hurt myself. But that's typical too of my illness. It's not like any news,
Yeah.
It's just that, I really want to live to be old, and I don't want to fucking scare my husband and my family all the time with my illness, but it's just kind of part of it. I know that. So if I give myself a few chicken scratches and go to the hospital for 3 days, that's not a big deal. But as long as I don't take it further than that, and that's the kind of thing that creeps me out, with bipolar. So, so that's some of the stuff I do, is I just self-harm when,
Yeah.
Yeah. But oh well. It could be worse, man. It could be fucking worse.
But I mean, it is part of you. It is you, isn't it? And you know, you do really well to deal with it. And this is why I feel like people can look up to you. And there's like so many people that even I know that feel like they're depressed, and you know, they need someone to turn to. And I feel like your music can really help people with that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, your lyrics are so honest.
Thanks, man.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Thank you.
It's okay. They really are great, honestly. We both love them so much, don't we?
Oh, I love you guys.
When writing an album, only so many songs obviously make the cut. What happens to the rest?
So you know what happens to the rest? And I had this little funny philosophy is that when a song is its own energy. So as much as I may want it to make it to that record, if it doesn't, that means that the song and the energy behind the song, which I call God or the angels, say it's not ready to come out into the world yet. I usually record 16 to 17, 18 songs for each record. Back in the old days, in my time, you could put 12, 13, 14, 15 songs on a record, no problem. Nowadays, unless you're a pop act, it's kind of smart to not put more than 10. Mm-hmm. So it's hard. Because you want the little baby to make it to the record, you know? But then I have to say, this is not about what I think or want. I have to trust that if it's meant to find its home, it will. And if it's not, that's okay too. Maybe it was just a cool work in progress song that I love, but it's maybe never meant to go out to people. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try and think that way just to get me to fucking, okay, we'll just put 10 songs, you know?
So you never just think, I'm going to throw that away, that's not going to be used ever?
I kind of don't believe in throwing away. The only time I believe in throwing away is when, because what I do when I write is I always write the music first. So the chord changes, then the melody follows, and then the lyric follows.
Yeah. So
if I'm writing the music and I don't feel like it's really connecting inside, then I'll know there's no reason to put a lyric on it. Mm-hmm. It's a waste, and I'll throw it. But if, like, I'll give you an example, Tell Her You Belong to Me, a song on the latest record, it took me a year and a half to write that fucking song.
Wow.
But what was going on was I'd written the music very quickly and I loved it. I loved the melody, I loved the chord changes, but I couldn't find the lyric. And I was going, what the fuck is going on? And then I realized about that onion layer thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I realized what the song was about. It was about my father. And I didn't want to feel those feelings as a little girl when he abandoned and left the family. And also I was scared because I did so much therapy, and I'm 43. What if I'm still as fucked up as I was then about my father? And then I was like, okay, you got to just write it anyway. And it took great courage, but it took such a long time.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I finished it, I was so happy. Not because I thought the song was, oh, this is a great song. But I was so happy that I had no anger in me towards my father. No real hurt. But instead, I had all this power of where I said, no matter what the fuck you do, motherfucker, I'm going to love you. I'm going to love you even if it drives you up the wall. Nothing will break my love for you. Not even you and not even me can get in the way of that love. And then I thought, oh my God, I grew up and I was really able to find forgiveness and turn forgiveness into unconditional love. So that made me so happy. So but look at the work progress. It's fucking a year and a half, man.
Exactly. But it was a really good release for you then.
It was a good thing. And then it made me want to dedicate the record to my dad, so I did.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Despite everything you've been through in the past then, and the struggles that you've had to overcome, you've managed to get yourself to this point now where you seem to be on track. How does that make you feel?
I don't know about that, dude.
It seems that way. I mean, like, on track musically, you're doing so well.
Thank you.
How does that make you feel? You know, you've been able to say that you continue to beat these demons that get in your way, or you know, that get thrown at you. How do you feel knowing that you can use your music to kind of beat that?
Well, one thing I realized very importantly along the way for me is that music alone was not enough to help me to grow and heal and recover. What I had to put first was my spirituality, my connection with God, whatever you want to call that. I know what I call it. It doesn't matter. Having a spiritual connection with something higher and more powerful and with the most amazing unconditional love. so that no matter what I do, no matter what I did, no matter what I feel was horrible about myself, I can have faith that something amazing out there loves me just as I am. And what a load off that becomes. So that had to become first. And the next thing that had to be next was saying out loud that it was okay for me to have good people in my life. When I was younger, I would only choose you to be in my life if you were fucking hell on wheels.
Yeah.
Drunk man, abusive man, friends that were on fucking drugs, people just fucking crazy, because that's what I felt like I deserved, and that's who I was. And at some point I had to go, Beth, no matter how shit you think you are, there's something else that thinks you're pretty awesome. So start choosing people to be in your life that are awesome, loving, kind, healthy, and learn from them. So that became 2. And then 3 became, I had to get on medication for my illness, because I had self-medicated with drugs for so many years. So I got on fucking medication for my illness. And then after that, then the music took a turn. At first, I couldn't write, because I wasn't accessing that crazy part of my brain anymore. I was medicated. Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, I can't write anymore. I can't write anymore. And my doctor kept saying, you will be able to write. You need to fucking have patience and get rid of your ego. And trust that you're going to find a different way into your brain that will access all those feelings that you used to access without being so dangerous. And that started to happen. So it's just, I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you. I feel like whatever struggles I've had in my life have all been gifts. Great gifts. And totally fucking honest with you, I think I've had it on fucking easy street. I mean, I fucking come from a free country, got food, got education, got fucking money for good doctors, got people who are good to me. So what, I have bipolar and alcoholism. It's not like there's not an answer for it. Exactly.
Yeah. So, you're not the only one. You're not alone with that.
Not alone.
So many people suffer with this.
Well, yeah.
When you're writing, do you find it equally as effortless to be able to produce the songs like Leave the Light On compared to the faster ones like Bang Bang Boom Boom?
No. I think it's much harder to write the heavier.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, I don't know. I'm like a big kid, I don't want to take a responsibility. So when I face my stuff, which I have to in order to grow and get through it, right? But the only way to really grow and get through it, I come to realize, takes more than me forgiving others, but it takes me actually finding what my responsibility is in it.
Yeah.
What did I do to contribute to that? I don't want to do that. I want to stay a big kid and say, fuck all y'all, man. You treat me so bad. I want to stay in that place. I get to hide. I get to stay under the covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's no way to live. There's no way to live. So that stuff is definitely way harder. Bang Bang Boom Boom, that was fun. I was like, yeah, we don't know what it means, but we're going to write the song and have fun. And it was a co-write too. I wrote with others. So this record I wrote all alone. So it was, I had to take more responsibility than I did. I think that's why I cut myself up and went to the hospital. Because it was like I couldn't blame it on anyone. If it was shit, I couldn't say, well, I wrote with this co-writer, and I'm really talented, but he wasn't, and so it was shit. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Alright, sounds great. When I first heard Better Than Home, I was blown away by, the simplicity of the songs and the album, and I thought that your approach worked really, really well. And your new song Trouble struck me as being like really gritty and raw and just oozing so much cool. But it's so effortless for you to have such feeling within a song. And do you feel like you can just let everything go on stage and be exactly the same as it does sound on the album?
If my illness isn't kicked up, I can become completely free. The way I look at the audience is the same way I look at my band. It all becomes one group that is like a swirling storm, but it's like a perfect storm. It's beautiful and loving, and it doesn't hurt anything. It's just this beautiful circling of energy. And when that happens, I just know I'm in a good place. But if my illness is kicked up, it's kind of like going into hell out there. Because I know it's my job to tell them stories, and it's my job to have good energy and do a show for them.
Yeah.
But when I'm feeling fucked up, it's just like inside I just feel like they hate it and hate me and hate the music, and they're disappointed they came, and why did they waste the money, and they're just trying to be nice to me by standing there when really all they want to do is walk out the door. And that sucks. I had that the other night.
Do you feel like that happens because you're having to sing the songs that brings up all those memories again?
No, not at all. I think it's completely chemical imbalance of the brain. I really do. And anything can set it off. Like if I have a cold and I'm taking a lot of cold medicine, that can fuck with my brain chemistry. If I have too much caffeine, it can fuck with my brain chemistry. Even though I take medication every morning and night, it's like you take other stuff. Like God forbid, if I drink, I'm fucked up for a long time. You know, a couple of weeks, you know. So it's like so important to not put anything into my body that can shift the chemistry.
Yeah, well, make sure you do look after yourself. That is important. I've just got one final question. Seeing live performances of recordings of you from previously, you so easily own the stage. Well, that you captivate an audience so well.
Thank you.
Are you as confident on stage as you are off stage?
Oh no. I think I have much more confidence on stage, unless I'm sicko that day. I think I have much more confidence on stage. But that's not because of, I think I'm the shit. I think it's more just because I'm happy. I'm with my best friends, playing music, got the lights, we got the audience. It's the child dream that I had. I just so much want to, maybe one day I get a record deal, or I get to make some albums, and more than anything, I just want to go see the world and play for audiences. Wouldn't that be great? And it's happening. And so that's such a wonderful place to be. It's like, thank you, God, for giving me my dream, you know? And may I not do anything to ruin it or get in the way, you know? And I think, because I did once, you know, in my late 20s, I ruined my career. I was so sick, you know, I ruined everything. It all stopped. So now I just have such a sense of gratefulness to still be alive, but to now be working again. It's like, oh my God, you know? So I think that's why I feel more confident, because it's just, you know, so thankful I'm getting to do it, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that is everything. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you. And I really liked your questions. They were really cool. It was like kind of like a therapy session.
Oh, great. That's really
Thank you so much. Thank you. Sweet.